Saved by the Bell then and now, 2026. Imagine standing at the center of the world at 17, your face plastered on every bedroom wall in America, yet having less money in your bank account than the person fixing your car. How does a global phenomenon that defined the Saturday mornings of an entire generation leave its stars with contracts so predatory they've become a Hollywood cautionary tale? As we look back from the cold reality of 2026, was the fame worth the price of a future that never truly paid out? Number 1. Mario Lopez, $1,200,000 to $1,500,000. Back in 1989, a muscular teenager with a winning dimple and a background in wrestling and dance walked onto the set of Bayside High as A.C. Slater. Mario Lopez was the son of a telephone company clerk and a social services commissioner, a kid from Chula Vista who embodied the jock with a heart of gold archetype. At his peak in the original series, he was earning roughly $3,500 per episode, a figure that, while respectable for a teen in the early 90s, paled in comparison to the millions the studio was raking in through syndication. He was the quintessential then star, charismatic, physically peak, and underpaid for the cultural weight he carried. Fast forward to 2026, and at 52 years old, Mario Lopez has proved to be the ultimate survivor of the Bayside curse. While many of his peers faded into obscurity, he pivoted from acting to become a titan of entertainment journalism and hosting. Today, he isn't just a face on screen. He is a power player who reclaimed his legacy by serving as both an executive producer and a lead in the 2020 reboot. In this modern era, his $50,000 per episode salary for the revival finally reflected his true market value. While he no longer sports the spandex singlets of the 90s, the public in 2026 views him as the gold standard for transitioning from a teen idol to a permanent fixture of the Hollywood establishment. Number 2. Mark Paul Gosselaar, $1 million to $1,200,000. In the late 80s, a blonde-haired fourth-generation entertainer with a Dutch-Indonesian background stepped into the role of Zach Morris, the ultimate high school schemer. Mark Paul Gosselaar, whose father worked for Anheuser-Busch and mother was a flight attendant, became the face of a generation at just 15. Despite being the undisputed lead of the show, his then reality was far from glamorous behind the scenes. He started on a meager salary that only climbed to about $3,500 per episode by the series' peak. He was the king of Bayside, but in the cutthroat halls of Hollywood, he was a teenager signed to a contract that effectively locked him out of the millions the show would generate in syndication for decades to come. Now, in 2026, the 52-year-old actor stands as a respected veteran of the industry, having successfully shed the Zach Morris skin that once threatened to trap him. He didn't just fade away, he reinvented himself through gritty roles in dramas like NYPD Blue and Mixed-ish. While he hasn't reached the billionaire status of modern TV moguls, he remains financially stable and creatively active, having pocketed significant guest star fees for the 2020 reboot and earnings from various spin-off films. Today's audience sees him as a survivor, a man who navigated the treacherous waters of child stardom and came out the other side with his dignity and a respectable portfolio intact. Number 3. Dustin Diamond, $800,000 to $1 million. In 1989, a skinny, frizzy-haired 12-year-old with a knack for physical comedy became the most famous nerd in America. Dustin Diamond, the son of a digital electronics teacher and a computer operator, wasn't just another cast member, he was the soul of the show's humor as Samuel Screech Powers. His then was defined by unparalleled longevity. While his peers moved on, Dustin stayed, appearing in every iteration from Good Morning, Miss Bliss to The New Class, filming over 250 episodes. Even with a per-episode salary that never reached the heights of a true A-lister, the sheer volume of his work built a cumulative fortune that made him, on paper, one of the top earners of the franchise during his youth. However, The now of 2026 is a haunting, silent room. Dustin Diamond passed away in February 2021 at the age of 44, just weeks after a stage 4 cancer diagnosis. Before his death, his post-Bayside life was a turbulent saga of bankruptcy, a controversial tell-all book that alienated his castmates, and legal troubles that saw him serving time in jail. In 2026, he is remembered not for the wealth he struggled to hold on to, but as the tragic archetype of the child star who gave everything to a character and was left with nothing but the echoes of a laugh track. His absence from the 2020 reboot remains a bittersweet stain on the show's legacy, leaving fans to wonder what might have been. Number 4. Tiffany Thiessen, $650,000 to $800,000. In 1989, a 15-year-old girl from Long Beach, the daughter of a park designer and a homemaker, became the ultimate girl next door for an entire planet. Tiffany Thiessen, as Kelly Kapowski, was the heartthrob of the 90s, a beauty pageant winner who transitioned into the quintessential cheerleader archetype. Her then was a whirlwind of magazine covers and high-profile guest spots, yet her bank account didn't reflect her status as a global icon. Earning a salary that mirrored her male co-stars, roughly $3,500 per episode at her peak, she was a superstar trapped in an entry-level contract. Every poster sold and every lunchbox traded featuring her face filled the studio's coffers, while she remained a salaried employee of a teen sitcom that refused to grant its stars a piece of the back-end pie. Now, in 2026, the 52-year-old Tiffany Thiessen has transformed into a lifestyle mogul and a steady presence on television. While her earnings from Saved by the Bell were modest by Hollywood standards, she leveraged that fame into iconic roles in Beverly Hills, 90210, and later, White Collar. Today, she is a published cookbook author and a host of her own food-centric shows, building a diversified empire that far outweighs her teen salary. In 2026, the public sees her not just as the cheerleader from Bayside, but as a savvy businesswoman who refused to let a predatory early contract define her financial future. She skipped the 2020 reboot as a series regular, but appeared as a guest, proving she is now the one who dictates the terms of her appearances. Number 5. Elizabeth Berkley, $500,000 to $600,000. In 1989, a talented 17-year-old dancer from Michigan, the daughter of a gift basket business owner and a lawyer, stepped into the shoes of the fiercely intelligent Jessie Spano. Elizabeth Berkley brought a manic energy and a social consciousness to Bayside High that was ahead of its time. Her then was a whirlwind of academic overachieving on screen and grueling hours on set, all for a salary that peaked at around $3,500 per episode. She was the quintessential smart girl of the 90s, but her contract was anything but brilliant. While her character fought for women's rights and equality, Elizabeth herself was signed to a deal that offered zero residuals, ensuring the studio kept the lion's share of the show's eternal success while she walked away with a modest savings account. Now, in 2026, the 53-year-old Elizabeth Berkley has staged one of the most impressive career reclamations in Hollywood history. After the infamous fallout of Showgirls, which nearly derailed her career, she found her power again by returning to her roots. As a star and a producer of the 2020 reboot, she finally secured the payday she deserved, earning between $30,000 and $40,000 per episode. Today, she is not just an actress, but a mentor and author, famously known for her Ask Elizabeth program, helping young girls navigate the pressures of adolescence. In 2026, the public views her as a symbol of resilience, a woman who survived the brutal typecasting of the 90s to become a sophisticated, wealthy, and respected industry leader. Number 6. Lark Voorhees, $350,000 to $450,000. In 1989, a vibrant 15-year-old with a flair for fashion and a background in commercials stepped onto the Bayside set as the wealthy, trend-setting Lisa Turtle. Lark Voorhees, the daughter of a family with deep roots in the entertainment industry, became a style icon for a generation of young girls. Her then was defined by a steady climb through the ranks of teen stardom, starting with Good Morning, Miss Bliss, and carrying through all 4 seasons of the original hit. Despite being a core member of the gang, her financial reality was a reflection of the era's disparity. She earned the standard episodic rate of roughly $3,500, but without the extended lead roles in the later spin-off, The College Years, her total earnings from the franchise began to lag behind her male counterparts. Now, in 2026, the 52-year-old Lark Voorhees lives a life far removed from the relentless flashbulbs of Hollywood. Her journey post-Bayside has been a public struggle with mental health, a battle she and her family have navigated with grace and transparency. While she made a brief, heartwarming appearance in the 2020 reboot, she has largely stepped away from the industry to focus on her health and her work as an author. In the eyes of the 2026 public, she remains a beloved figure, a reminder of the immense pressure placed on young stars. Though she does not sit upon the same mountain of reboot riches as some of her co-stars, her legacy as a pioneer for black actresses in teen television remains unshakable and priceless. Number 7. Dennis Haskins, $300,000 to $400,000. In 1989, a veteran actor in his late 30s, the son of a career salesman, took on the mantle of the long-suffering principal Richard Belding. Dennis Haskins was the adult in the room, the moral compass of Bayside High whose "Hey, hey, hey, what is going on here?" became a global catchphrase. His then was a marathon of consistency. While the teenagers grew up and moved on, Haskins remained the anchor, transitioning from the original series into the lead role of the new class. Because he was an adult actor with prior experience, he maintained a stable, middle-class Hollywood salary throughout the 90s, outlasting almost every other cast member in terms of consecutive years on the payroll. Now, in 2026, at 75 years old, Dennis Haskins is the elder statesman of the Bayside legacy. While he didn't amass a fortune comparable to the modern sitcom stars of today, he has spent the last few decades as a beloved fixture at fan conventions and making nostalgic appearances in films and music videos. He lives a quiet life, occasionally lending his iconic voice to voiceover work and remaining active on social media to engage with the millions of students who grew up under his fictional tutelage. In 2026, the public views him with a deep, paternal warmth, a man who may not have become a billionaire from the show, but who earned a permanent, respected place in the pantheon of television history. Number 8. Ed Alonzo, $150,000. In the vibrant dawn of 1989, a flamboyant magician with a signature hairstyle and a flair for the surreal became the heartbeat of Bayside's favorite hangout. Ed Alonzo, the son of a Mexican-American family with deep roots in performance, wasn't just a waiter. He was Max, the mystical owner of the Max. His then was a whirlwind of card tricks and comedic timing, serving as the eccentric mentor to the Bayside gang. As a recurring character rather than a series regular, his contract was even more precarious than the main cast. He was paid a flat fee per appearance, a modest sum that reflected his status as a supporting player in a world dominated by teenagers. While he provided the backdrop for the show's most iconic moments, his financial slice of the Bayside pie was a mere fraction of the cultural phenomenon he helped create. Now, in 2026, the 67-year-old Ed Alonzo has vanished from the halls of Bayside to become a titan of the global magic circuit. While his earnings from the sitcom were humble, he leveraged that exposure to become one of the most successful, misfit magicians in history, designing illusions for legends like Michael Jackson and Britney Spears. Today, he is a wealthy man, not from TV residuals, but from a relentless touring schedule and a residency in Las Vegas that has spanned decades. In 2026, the public sees him as a creative genius who escaped the child star trap entirely by returning to his first love. He stands as a testament that even a small role in a big show can be the launchpad for an empire, provided you have the magic to make it happen. Whether they now stand atop empires of their own making or remain frozen in the amber of our nostalgia, the original cast of Bayside High proves that fame is often a glittering illusion. Their faces belong to the world, but their futures were signed away in ink before they were old enough to know better. Yet, in 2026, their resilience is the true legacy, a story of survival that outshines any contract. If you want to uncover more dark truths behind your favorite childhood icons, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications now. Don't miss our next deep dive into the shadows of Hollywood.